What is up, everybody, and welcome back. We are live for the Gameweek 27 deadline stream. There's about 42 minutes until the deadline, and in my opinion, I think we have quite a lot to discuss this week before the deadline. We're going to go through the predicted points, we're going to go through the clean sheet odds, the goal scorer odds, and then, of course, we're going to discuss the captaincy for this week. Now, as you can see on screen, I currently have the armband on Tony, but I've started to lean towards putting it on a Brighton midfielder. So that's going to be an interesting one that we'll have to see how it plays out. But fingers crossed I make the right decision this week, because as I said in my team selection video, I feel like the decision for captaincy this week is, really important if you're wanting to get a green arrow. That's the way I see it. I see some people bench boosting. As I discussed in my team selection video, I'm not bench boosting this week. I'm going to hold out and wait until game week 29. I just think it's better for me. It suits me better. But yeah, if you have any questions, good morning, FPL Black Box, or Az. I assume that may be Az. Hope you're having a good morning. Nice to see you in the stream. I appreciate it. As I was saying, I'm really not sure what to do with the captaincy this week. I honestly have no idea. It's between Tony and March. I think Matoma's more just a vibe pick, but I think it's probably the riskiest one to go with as well. Good morning, Yelena. I was committed to Tony and now I'm tempted by... Yeah, I don't have McAllister. And if I had him, I probably would captain him. But I really don't know. Like, it's the thing, it's a tough one. If we take a look at the predicted points, we can see that McAllister is on top, which is surprising to me. I mean, I don't really follow Brighton that much, but I didn't expect McAllister to be top. And then Matoma and Tony fall shortly behind. Tony over March for me. Yeah, I think Tony's the safe pick this week. I suppose because I've had a red arrow after red arrow, I'm sort of with 8.53 predicted points. March is quite far down actually. He's the lowest Brighton mid, as we can see. 8.07 predicted points. And then Salah, well, obviously because of the Bournemouth game. I mean, it's one of those. Of course, I sold all my Liverpool assets on my game week 26 wildcard before the United game. And hindsight is such a wonderful thing, because if you had held them for that Man United game, got all those returns, then you have a really nice Bournemouth fixture. So this is a week I really need my wildcard to start performing, being honest. And then Rashford's also up here with 6.47 predicted points. Rashford's an interesting one, and I discussed it in my team selection. I feel like, well, he's not really an option because of the double game week, but Rashford definitely could be an interesting captaincy pick if there wasn't the double game week for Brighton and Brentford. I think he would probably be the best captaincy option, maybe apart from Kane. But I think that's going to be a complete destruction of Southampton, especially when it's at home at Old Trafford. I mean, I could easily see United scoring five goals there. I've still got Salah, but I'm worried about another night. Yeah, I can't see that happening. Salah, this could be the week Salah gets a hat-trick. But yeah, the fact you still have Salah is massive. I'm really jealous, to be honest. So then, Fernandes, Kane and Haaland, I mean, nothing unusual there. This is the last week I'm going to own Haaland. I'm going to sell him next week for Ollie Watkins. So that's the plan. Who scores more this week? Salah, Kane or Haaland? Salah. Salah, in my opinion. I just Haaland's a weird one with the City team. Like, I feel like Haaland, if City don't play De Bruyne, Haaland is extremely like weakened, I suppose, because they just don't know how to use him properly. And like the way he scores goals, it's almost like his skill outweighs how much City benefit him, if you know what I mean. Like, he does it himself, really. And then Spurs are just Spurs. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they struggled a lot against Forest, who are in good form. And are quite strong defensively as well. So I would definitely say Salah. Going to transfer out Haaland for Kane and potentially. Yeah, I'm a fan of that as well, to be fair. I think that's a good idea. I'm doing something similar, although I'm just going Haaland to Watkins, because I don't own Watkins at the minute. Like, I think you could definitely even make an argument for selling Haaland this week, because Crystal Palace away isn't the easiest fixture in my opinion, and then they blank and then they play Liverpool. So I'm not planning to own Haaland until that Southampton fixture. That's when I'll get him back in. Because it's funny now, he was once like a permanent captain, but in my opinion not anymore. I mean, he's definitely, like, Haaland is obviously Haaland, but at the same time he's not as untouchable as he was. You sold Haaland this week? No, I don't think that'll be a disaster, if I'm being honest. It wouldn't surprise me if he got like one return, but I really don't think it's going to be anything special. And it depends who you've brought in for him. I mean, if the upside's a lot higher, then I definitely feel that's a pretty good move. But yeah, if we look at the Goalscorer odds, we'll see. Tony obviously is leading them. I mean, that's no real surprise. What is worrying for those that sold Haaland is that he is third on the Goalscorer odds with a 45% chance of scoring against Crystal Palace. Agree, but yeah, it was definitely getting boring with the captaincy. Yeah, you would definitely take that. And see, you got Tony, so I would say the upside's a lot higher. Like, I like that move, especially if, you know, I mean, a lot of people will be selling Haaland anyway next week, and then they won't have him probably for the Liverpool game. So, I mean, you're just making that move early. But yeah, I think that's a good move, if I'm being honest. So, Tony's top, then Ferguson is second. Ferguson is an interesting one. I would like to own him, but I just don't have the room to own him, if you know what I mean. With Kane, Haaland and Tony, I just can't fit Ferguson into there in place of anybody. But he's definitely one to watch. I mean, the fact he's Irish as well is obviously a big swing. Got Ferguson captain, big differential. Maybe Az would be better answering this one if he's still here, because I don't follow much Brighton. But obviously, as we can see from the Goalscorer odds, he's he's second and he's only behind Tony. I'm pretty sure he is nailed. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's nailed. I think Welbeck's not playing at the minute, or it gets rotated quite a bit. But I mean, I think anybody with a double game week, if they're guaranteed at least 120 minutes or so, or slightly more, you know, is a good pick this week. Especially if you're chasing a green arrow. I mean, Ferguson, it wouldn't surprise me if Ferguson scored in either of those games. I mean, he's in such good form that it definitely wouldn't surprise me. Kane's also up there as well. I mean, Kane's a difficult one. Spurs are really bad at the minute. And even though Spurs are really bad, Kane just always seems to return. So that's why I still own him, and that's why I think, you know, you'd even be okay bringing him in, should I say, because their fixtures are Nottingham Forest, then Everton, then Southampton, then Everton, and then Brighton, and then Bournemouth. I mean, their next 5 fixtures are some of the best you could ask for. Rashford also up there, Salah up there. McAllister's the leading Brighton mid for a goal scored this week, although Matoma's slightly behind him as well. Quite a few interesting ones on that. Wissa is up there as well. No Mbuemo, which I think is interesting, because I think Mbuemo could be definitely an interesting option this week if you do own him. It wouldn't surprise me if he's the Brentford player that performs best. I like Ferguson, but his minutes are a risk. Yeah, not a bad option, but I tend to agree with that, to be fair. I think if you go for Ferguson, you're taking almost an unnecessary risk if you do have the likes of Matoma or McAllister, etc. It's always about finding that balance between getting the differential but not having a ridiculous risk at the same time. Yeah, let's look at the scout selection. So in nets they have Gavin Bazzuno, which I think is arguably the most ridiculous pick they could have made, because I just think Southampton defensively are, no words can describe how bad Southampton are defensively, so I don't understand that pick. Trippier, me and Estepinian in the back line, I mean that's pretty standard for most people that wildcard in Gameweek 26. Then we have Salah, Rashford, Matoma captain, and McAllister per me. So I mean, that's almost the exact same midfield as me, apart from I have March over McAllister, and the scout has gone with Matoma captain, which is interesting because he would probably be at the bottom of my captaincy options for the Brighton mids this week. Purely, and I try not to base too much of my decisions off the data, but I mean, it looks like he overperforms his XG a lot. He's a big XG overperformer, whereas March and McAllister are just consistently good with when it comes to the data. So I think Matoma's very much a kind of vibe pick if you want to be slightly different. But if you want to play it safe while also taking a bit of a risk, then McAllister or March is definitely someone to consider. And then the exact same lineup, front three lineup as me this week, with Haaland, Keane and Tony. Tony is the vice captain in that team. I mean, it's a pretty strong scout selection team this week. Whoever used to do them must have got fired, because ever since like the start of this season, the teams have actually been pretty normal in what most players would maybe go for this week. Obviously, apart from Bazzuno and nets, because I just think that's a ridiculous shout. And if we even take a look at the clean sheet odds, we can see that Southampton are third from bottom with only a 12% chance of keeping a clean sheet in that United fixture, and then a 27.5% chance of keeping a clean sheet in the Brentford fixture, which in my opinion should be even lower. But interestingly enough, it's City that have the best chance of keeping a clean sheet this week, with 51.5% chance. And that's interesting because a lot of people don't own City assets anymore. I mean, a lot of people sold all their City defenders if they were wildcarding in Gameweek 26, or those that were wildcarding in Gameweek 27. So if you do somehow still have a City defender sat on your bench, then definitely play him this week, because he's guaranteed, well, not guaranteed a clean sheet, but he has a very high chance of keeping a clean sheet. And then no real surprises. It's nice to see Brighton high up there for that second fixture against Crystal Palace. They have 45% chance of keeping a clean sheet. And where then for the first fixture against Leeds, they have 34% chance. So as a Estepinian owner, I'm pretty confident seeing that. Where's Chelsea? Chelsea 36%. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I can definitely see Leicester scoring this week. Obviously Keba's on the bench for me, but I can definitely see Leicester scoring this week. I'm jealous of that front three. If I wasn't wildcarding next week, I'd definitely be taking a hit for Keane. Yeah, I'm really happy with my front three, to be fair, especially for this week. Obviously next week I'm going to make changes to it, but Keane, Haaland and Tony as a front three is pretty ideal. But it's interesting, you're not wildcarding until Game Week 20... What is it? Game Week 28? Why is that? Was there any specific reason you didn't wildcard in 26 or 27? I suppose you maybe made the right decision if you kept Salah, etc. That's interesting because it seemed like the whole of Twitter was wildcarding in Game Week 26. And then obviously, where's Everton at? Everton 31.5% chance of keeping Brentford out. I mean, that's a lot higher than I would want. And I think it's maybe overestimating the Everton defence. I could see Tony. I really hope Tony returns, but I still don't know who I'm going to captain. That's the issue. I still have no clue who I'm going to captain. Do I want to put it on March? Do I really want to put it on March? I don't know. I think it's going to get into the territory where I flip a coin. 25 minutes left until the deadline. I may end up flipping a coin. My team was fairly close to the wildcard template, so I thought, if that was the case, then you definitely made the right decision. My team was an absolute disaster, though. I needed to wildcard. Well, I felt like I needed to wildcard, but if I hadn't have wildcard, I would have outscored my wildcard team, which was a bit tough to take. But it is what it is. Oh, I don't know what to do. Do I want to go to, like, if you go for a Brighton mid, you're getting an extra point with the with any chances of a clean sheet. But if I get absolutely stung this week and it's Matoma that goes and hauls, then I don't know if I'll be able to financially recover from this. What does the predicted points say again? Let me just double check. So they have McAllister top, and then they have Matoma, and then March. Yeah, March is the bottom of the projected points out of the Brighton mids. Oh, I don't know what to do. Or maybe I play it safe and go with Tony. Maybe I play it safe and go for Tony. Oh, it's going to be one of those weeks this week where, yeah, Tom, that's the literal dilemma I'm trying to deal with at the minute, and I honestly have no answer for that. Like, my brain says Tony, and my heart says March. So it does. Like, I want to be different, but then I feel like I'm maybe trying to be too different because I've suffered red arrow after red arrow recently. Oh, I don't know what to do. This is going to be the worst. I might have to stick it into like a random generator just to try and decide. Wait, I'm going to do that. Let me see. Random name picker. So if it all goes wrong, then at least we can blame the random name picker. Wait, 2 seconds. Right, Matoma, March, Tony. Right, all these ads. I don't want these. Okay, so I don't know if I'm actually gonna stick with this, whatever the answer is, but maybe I should. Maybe just for the vibes. I mean, at the end of the day, we all sold Liverpool assets and they returned, so there's no point overthinking it. I'm gonna go with the wheel of names as my decision. Whatever happens, this is gospel, and we stick with it 100%. I was about to do a best of 3 to try, like, oh no, right, it's a one and done. Click to spin. 3, 2, 1. Please don't be Matoma. Please don't be Matoma. Please be Matoma. Fuck! That's the worst one! No, not Woo. Don't cheer for that. Oh my god. That is the worst one. I'm gonna have to cut Matoma now. Oh my god. I'm actually gonna delete FPL. Oh, I can't believe it picked Matoma. I actually can't believe it picked Matoma. My day's ruined. That was the worst one. That was the one I did not want. I mean, oh my god. Oh, I have no words now. I'm literally going to have to captain Matoma. Right, that's it. It's locked in. Game week's over anyway. I'm going to delete the app. What are the chances that it picks the least, or the one I wanted the least? Like, what are the actual chances? Like, why? No, but the wheel. Oh, at least I can blame it on the wheel now and say it wasn't my choice. I let the wheel decide. This Matoma bet he better haul. If he doesn't, he's just gonna blank, isn't he? After what, a 13-point haul last week. Oh my god, this is a disaster. Although the predicted points have him quite high, so it is what it is. Oh, I can't believe. I know, but I overthink. But who cares? I mean, I'm sure it'll be a red arrow team anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. Who's the first fixture? Liverpool. Oh, I'd love to see Salah benched. The wheel is, no, don't say the wheel is wrong. Now you're starting to scare me. Using the wheel is optimal. Yeah, I agree, Sean. 100%. Because then you can blame it on the wheel. So, it doesn't matter after that. As long as you can put your blame on somebody else, then you're never in the wrong. And that's exactly what I've done for FPL. So, it's going to be a good week. I hope so. I've suffered like 3 red arrows, no, maybe more. 4 red arrows in a row. I mean, my lowest rank at this during this season was like 30k, and then ever since then it's just been consistent red arrows over and over again. Two seconds, I'm making a tweet. If you have any questions or dilemmas, let me know. Me or Henry? I'd probably go Ben me, being honest. I think a lot of managers got burned last week by, well, obviously Pinnock scored, but they tried to maybe go slightly too different, which also was slightly unfortunate because any of Pinnock, me, or Henry could have returned. But if I was deciding this week, I'd go for me, probably. 2 seconds, I need to take a screenshot of the team, because we are locked in for Gameweek 27. There's only 18 minutes left, so make sure you have your teams set before the deadline. As you can see, we have Kepa, Botman, Madison and Zinchenko on the bench. I'll discuss why I'm not bench boosting in a second once I get this tweet out. Seconds. Oh dear. Bench Saka or Martinelli? I would bench Martinelli. So I would, if I'm being completely honest, I would bench Martinelli. Yeah, so I've just tweeted my team, if you want to go check it out. Oh shit. But yeah, the reason I'm not bench boosting this week is because, as you can see on screen, my bench is Kepa, Botman, Madison and Zinchenko. Now, if I'm being honest, I expect Leicester to score against Chelsea, so that'll wipe the Kepa clean sheet. Botman, I actually expect Newcastle to keep a clean sheet, so that would be a return I would miss out on. Madison, I just think it's a tough fixture for Madison, so I'm not expecting anything special from him. And then Zinchenko, I do expect Fulham to score against Arsenal. So the only player that I would actually have any faith with returning this week would be Botman with that Wolves fixture, so it's just not worth me wildcarding this week, or sorry, bench boosting this week, and I'm instead just going to wait until game week 29 to do it. Even though it is after the international break and there's a much higher risk with doing it, it's just, I just don't, my bench this week isn't good enough for bench boosting in my opinion, and I only expect one of my players to actually get a serious return this week, so that's why I'm not bench boosting. But let me know, actually I'll run a quick poll in the chat to see who's bench boosting this week. So vote on the poll, let me know if you're bench boosting this week. Also, if you are enjoying the stream, then please do drop it a like. And if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe. I try and upload 2 to 3 times a week when I'm not busy. Unfortunately this week I was busy, so I was only able to get a team selection video out. But yeah, so the poll with 1 vote's on 100% no, which I think is fair enough. I think it would only be worth it bench boosting this week maybe if you were benching Saka, you know, if you had another Arsenal midfielder over Maddison, and maybe somebody like Sanchez or Steele on the bench with a double game week, then I think an argument could be made to bench boost. But it's not needed for my team this week. So that's why I'm not doing it. I'm just going to hold until game week 29 when I can, I think, have, how many players? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think 14 players doubling in game week 29 for me. If my moves go to plan and there's no unexpected fires that I need to put out. So yeah, that's the way things stand at the minute. If you are just joining the stream, I did let a random wheel picker decide my captain this week, and it picked Matoma, which is the worst one. Well, the one I wanted to go with the least. So that is really not ideal, but it is what it is, and we're just going to leave it at that now. I mean, who knows? Who knows who's going to score the most points this week? It's just complete lottery. And fingers crossed it is Matoma, because that would be massive. I mean, that would be if Matoma outscores Tony and the rest of the Brighton mids, it may be my greatest ever FPL moment, because I've let my captain be decided by a random wheel picker. How long do we have? 14 minutes until the deadline. Oh, and by the way, I'm rolling the transfer this week, so I'm going to take 2 transfers into game week 28, and then I'm going to make 2 moves in game week 28. My moves, I think, are going to be Haaland to Watkins, and I think I might get rid of, either going to be I get rid of a Brighton mid or Saka in order to prepare for bringing in Bruno in game week 29. Oh no, sorry, I'm making 1 transfer next week, and I'm just doing Haaland to Watkins. So that'll be my 1 transfer in game week 29. I'm rolling the transfer this week, which will give me 2 in 28, and then if I use 1, I'll have 2 in 29. So yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan for this week. Oh yeah, literally. This will be my best game week or my worst game week ever. I mean, there's really no in between. Well, I suppose maybe that's a bit of an over-exaggerating, because I still could get a green arrow. But if I'm on the wrong end of the captaincy, it will be my worst game week ever. Especially if anybody else hauls that I was considering going for. I was so close to deleting my my app last week when Liverpool were just smashing goals in past United, because I just didn't want to bear the red arrow I was going to have to face. I mean, I got so lucky last week with a Pinnock goal. I was just sat in some random bar in London, and I just saw that goal go, and I was just started fist pumping because I just couldn't believe that he'd scored. Like, what are the chances of that? I mean, that's not why I picked him. I picked him for the clean sheets, and then he goes and gets a goal. I mean, that saved my rank massively. It was still a red arrow, but it limited the damage massively. Oh. So let's take one final look at the goal score odds this week. So Matoma is, well, McAllister's the highest Brighton mid, with Matoma 0.5% behind. The only real surprise in this maybe is Ferguson's so high. I think Az said earlier that Ferguson's minutes are a risk. So he's maybe one to avoid this week. Definitely one not to captain. Definitely, I'm guessing around 70% on Tony, 20% on Brighton mid. Yeah, I would tend to agree with you, George. I feel like the majority of regular people that aren't, well, even FPL Twitter seems to be all on Tony, which I understand. And going for Matoma and listening to, this random name picker is definitely a risk, because Matoma's not on set pieces or penalties, whereas Tony is. So Tony's definitely the safe pick this week, but if you want to have a bit of fun, then go for a Brighton mid. And if they keep a clean sheet, you also get extra 2 points, so I mean that's wonderful, I suppose. Zaha's on the goal score odds. Who does Crystal Palace play? They play City and Zaha's on the goal score odds. That's bizarre. Why is he there, I wonder? Zaha is a complete avoid for me. I mean, I've been burned too many times by him in the past. So he's a no-go for me, basically forever, unless they have like a triple game week or something. Yeah, so everybody's not bench boosting this week. Well, 5 people that have voted. That's interesting. Vocal is bench boosting with Vogel's bench boosting with a bench very similar to mine, apart from he has Steele and Nets with a double game week. I mean, I'm just not convinced by the bench boost this week at all. It just, like, having Kepa, Botman, Madison, Zinchenko. Botman's the only player I actually think will get a return this week, if I'm being completely honest. I see Leicester scoring against Chelsea, even though I still think Chelsea will win 2-1. I just think Leicester will score, and I think Fulham will score against Arsenal, because Arsenal haven't been particularly good defensively, especially in recent weeks. I mean, they conceded 2 to Bournemouth, and then midweek they conceded 2 to Sporting Lisbon. I mean, that's 4 goals in 2 games, so there's no reason why Fulham can't score against them, especially when Fulham are at home and Mitrovic is obviously playing. Nope, didn't mean to do that. Play Odegaard or Trippier this week. Have to bench one. Odegaard or Trippier. That is a tough one, if I'm being completely honest. I would usually want to favour the attacker, so I would say go for Odegaard. But I think Wolves at home for Trippier is a really good fixture. And I'm starting Trippier this week. I'm going to say start Trippier, so I am. Because I think that Fulham fixture is going to be difficult for Arsenal. But I think that Wolves at home fixture for Newcastle is ideal for Trippier. I mean, I'm really expecting him to get a clean sheet and even maybe an assist or something. I just think it could be a really good fixture for them. So I would start Trippier this week. I'm just not a fan of benching Trippier with such a good fixture. Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. Odegaard was unwell. Is he still out? Is he out this week? I didn't know. Or I saw he was out of the midweek game. But I didn't know he was still ill. But yeah, regardless, even if he is fit, I would still bench him. To be fair, I just think Trippier's one of the best assets in the game, and with facing off at Wolves, I can't speak. It's too early. I cannot speak. Facing off against Wolves at home is a good fixture. Have you seen all the Mount talk, Yelena? Looks like Mount's gonna leave. I mean, every single report comes out just keeps saying that he's going to leave. I mean, whisper it quietly, but I would be celebrating that. Yeah, I think you're right. He will play. He'll probably get maybe half an hour if he comes on at the 60-minute mark. If he doesn't start, that is. How long do we have left? 6 minutes. Right, we're locked in. I mean, this is the thing with deadline streams where you're rolling the transfer. It's just there's not a lot to talk about. You just kind of sit here and just, I don't know, just daydream. I still can't get over the Matoma captain pick. Like, I just feel disgusted, to be fair. Yeah, I'm Mount's biggest fan. Yeah, I don't think I told you, but I ended up having to do. I did an interview outside the bridge with some random YouTube guy, and so he interviewed me about like the game, and like asking me about Potter, etc. Like what I thought the scoreline was going to be. Of course, I nailed it. I said 2-0 because I have that ball knowledge. But he asked me about Mount, and he was actually a Mount hater as well, so it was so funny. It was just like two Mount haters just spitting facts on Mount and just enjoying their kind of shared dislike for Mason Mount. It was so bad. I can't remember, or no, he said he has this thing on Twitter called like Grom, which is like get rid of Mount. I was just laughing. But yeah, that was so funny. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I was actually important, like I was a reporter for Sky News or something giving an interview. I had to pretend to know what I was talking about too. I started worrying, like, am I going to say something here that's just like not right? Irish Chelsea fan makes himself look like an idiot outside Stamford Bridge. Oh, I wonder if there's any early Liverpool team news, just out of interest. I mean, not that it matters. Nunez is going to start this week, or he's going to score this week, isn't he? He just is. Oh, George is going to switch his captain to McAllister. That's a big shout with only 3 minutes to go. We're only 3 minutes away from the deadline. I'm not sure about that one, George. Actually, I don't know. It's better than Matoma in my opinion, but just go with whatever your gut says. Play Maddison or Odegaard. Well, Odegaard's apparently ill, or was unwell, definitely. He was definitely unwell during the midweek. So he may not start. So based off that, I would start Maddison. Because all we know is that Odegaard was unwell, so I would start Maddison. I'm benching him this week, but I'm benching Maddison this week, but that's because I have nowhere else for him in the team. 3 minutes until the deadline. My team is locked in. Matoma captain, Tony vice captain. I didn't actually pick Matoma captain myself. It was a random wheel picker name thing that picked my least favourite option, so that's perfect. But yeah, hopefully, I really need a green arrow. It's been far too long. It's been like 5 game weeks without a green arrow, and it's so frustrating too because I don't feel like I'm making bad decisions. It's just I'm getting unlucky. But it's funny because FPL's a game which is just, well, not purely luck, but a lot of it is down to luck, and it's down to like 50-50 decisions, which I feel like captaincy will be a massive 50-50 decision this week. Well, 50-50-50 or whatever it is, 33.3% with between, well, suppose you have McAllister as well, so it's like 25%. But yeah, whoever gets captaincy right this week will be on cloud 9, and whoever gets it wrong will be down in the dumps. I mean, I really need McAllister to blank this week because I don't even own him. So that's something I really need this week, is a McAllister blank. Well, 1 minute. Oh, we only got 1 minute until the deadline. Make sure your team's locked in. My team is locked in. I'm happy with my bench order. I think Botman started number 1. Fair enough, because I expect him to keep a clean sheet, although I don't think I'll need him. It was interesting though. Good luck, George. Yeah, good luck, everybody. 1 minute until the deadline. Good luck, good luck, good luck. But it was interesting with Saka. I saw a lot of Arsenal fans upset that he keeps having to play 90 minutes. Like, I think he's played 90 minutes for the last 10 game weeks or something. I mean, he's just constantly playing 90 minutes, and he seemed to have some sort of issue in that Sporting Lisbon game as well. He definitely was not 100% comfortable. Good luck, Danny. Good luck. So it's interesting how Arteta kind of, if Arteta starts managing him, because if Saka gets injured, Arsenal are in a world of problems. So yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. But we have just hit 11 o'clock, and that is us locked in for the Game Week 27 deadline stream, the Game Week 27 deadline. We have done the unthinkable, and we have captained Matoma in Game Week 27, which was my least favourite option to captain this week. But we just have to trust the random wheel picker and hope that it pays off. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game week. I mean, I don't even know if I have any predictions for this game week. I think Liverpool are going to destroy Bournemouth. I think that's definitely one prediction I have. The same with United. I think this could be a really good week for Rashford. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, Elena. And I think I'm going to say it now, because I'm a massive Arsenal hater, that Arsenal are going to lose to Fulham. Arsenal are going to lose to Fulham, and this will be the game week that marks. What does it mark? I'm trying to think. This will be the game week where they lose the league. From this point onwards, from this game week onwards, after they get beat by Fulham, they will not win the Premier League. Okay, that's my prediction for the week. So yeah, I think that's everything. I don't think anybody has any further questions, because the deadline is of course over. Next week's going to be a lot more interesting, because we have transfers to make and we have discussions to have around captaincy as well next week, because of course it's a massive blank game week. Yeah, I don't have any Liverpool assets as well, which I am concerned about, to be fair. I think it's definitely going to be a good week for Liverpool owners, because the fixture's just so good. But yeah, that's going to do it, unless anybody has any further questions. I'm not like FPL Raptor, who talks for about an hour after the stream about life. Like, I can't, these people that go live for 3 hours, I don't know how they do it. I could not speak for that long. I mean, I can just about manage 45 minutes. Now I need to go lie down in a darkened room and just recharge. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. I have nothing else to say. I wish everybody luck. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. It helps me out a lot. It is my birthday on Monday, so I don't know if I'm going to have a video out on Monday. I'll have to see. But yeah, it is my birthday on Monday, so chances are I probably won't have a video out. But there'll be a team selection video out at some point next week. So yeah, I appreciate everybody that was in the stream. Please do like it if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the future. I hope everybody has a good game week, and I hope your captaincy pick pays off. So, ciao ciao.